Manuel, and you're welcome back to activity 3 of our January 2021 ITU02 questions. This time we're going to be looking at queries and report. Like I always told you guys, it is very important you read carefully the instructions provided by the examiner before answering the questions. And now what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to go straight to the questions and read them. Create a query to display an alphabetically sorted list of commercial galleries that have exhibitions running for at least 5 days. It says at least 5 days, so it must show the gallery name, the gallery type, and the number of days only. So it means in our query we're going to include the gallery name, the gallery type, and the number of days, and we must sort this alphabetically, and our criteria must be greater than 4 because it says at least 5. So if we say greater than 4, it means it's going to start from 5 upward. Okay, so we're gonna do a question subsection A of activity 3. So I'm going to go back now to my database working environment, and please remember the commercial galleries, basically you will find the name of the galleries in the exhibition. So I'm going to go to my Microsoft Access database working environment, and I'm going to click on create and simply click on query design. And we're going to be adding exhibition because this is where we have the gallery and the dates. Okay, so I have my TBL exhibition here. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to add the name of the gallery, I believe. Okay, the galleries that have exhibition. But unfortunately, on this table, we can't find any gallery there. So we can only have the gallery ID. So which means we simply just have to go on show table, which is right there, and add the table containing the gallery. This is most likely going to be TBL gallery. So I'm going to be adding that. Let's rearrange this to make it look a little bit much better than it is now. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to be adding, you can add the gallery ID and add the gallery name, and then remember we also need to add the date. Okay, the number of days, sorry, the number of days need to be added, and we can easily find that on the exhibition table. Number of days there. So the number of days has been added successfully. What else do we need to add? We're told it must show the gallery name, the gallery type. So it means we need to add the type as well. So gallery ID, type ID, and then if we're going to be adding a gallery type, it means we need to basically add the third table containing the gallery type. Okay, so to do this, I'm going to go to show table and add gallery type table as well. Okay, we got to rearrange this. Okay, this is how things should be done. You're gonna make sure you include all of the field names, the attributes required by the examiner. So I'm going to be adding the gallery type now. Alternatively, we can rearrange this a little bit. I'm going to drag and drop the gallery type just after the gallery. Okay, and what else do we need to include? Let's go back to our question paper. So we're going to be adding gallery name, already added, gallery type already added, number of days already added. So we're ready to go now. Now the next thing we're going to do is the the gallery need to be sorted alphabetically, maybe in ascending order. Let's do that. To sort in alphabetic order, we need to, where it says sort, on the sort row, go on the gallery column, open it and select sort ascending. So we've done that. So we're going to go back to our question. And then it says must have exhibition running for at least 5 days. So this simply means the number of days. We're going to go on the criteria row and type greater than 4, because you all agree with me, if we say greater than 4, it means it's going to start from 5 upward. It must be 5 and above. Okay, so you've got to take the screenshot of this. Basically, we've done everything we need to do there, and you've got to paste it in activity 3, I believe. Activity 3 normally may be found in the student learner activity sheet, which I believe is this one here, activity 3. Let me open that so that you see exactly what I mean. So if you open that, it's gonna come up. So wait for it. It's loading. So the query design, you have to paste it here. Okay, and then we're going to run it now. When you run the query, you have to paste the screenshot there. So I'm going to go to the query and run it. So this is the datasheet view. You've got to take the screenshot of the datasheet view and paste it right there where it says datasheet. So you paste it underneath. So the design, like I said, need this design here. They'll be looking for the criteria, they'll be looking for the sorting, and then you have to take the screenshot, like I said, and make sure you paste that in the appropriate position here for the design view, and then we're done with that. So I'm going to be saving the query now so we can go out. So I will right click and click on save. We may call it QRY gallery. Alternatively, you can call it gallery exhibition. Okay, so this is saved. So the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to close this now. So to be honest with you, we are done with part A. Okay, the next one we're going to do is we're going to go on to part B. Now the part B states that the gallery earns commission for every piece of art sold. The basic commercial commission rate is 40%. The basic combo commission rate is 20%. Okay, so we can do two things there. We can use the if function, but I'm not going to complicate this for you. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to create another query, and then we're going to calculate the commission. Now the question goes further to say, okay, create a query which will allow the user to enter a parameter value for an artist, for an artist surname when run. Calculate the number of exhibitions, predicted commission, smart art we receive, and then it must display all of the following. So it means we're going to retrieve the artist surname from the artist table. We're going to retrieve the artist initial from the artist table. The commission rate already has been provided. This is provided. You're not going to find it on any of the table. Predicted commission, this will be a calculated field. So these two fields basically will be calculated. Okay, so you most likely not going to find them in any of the tables. So basically, before we can do this now, we need to add the artist table, and before we can calculate the commission, we know the price, the predicted sales is on the exhibition table. It means we're going to include the exhibition table there, and we've been told that the gallery also, from the gallery, we also need to include the gallery type according to them. If I can see this, let's just look at it, because the reason why we need to include the gallery type is because this is where we will be able to find the type of gallery, either whether it is commercial or whether it is combo. So it means we need to include that table as well. So it means all of the 4 tables must be included. Basically, that is what it means. Okay, because if we fail to include the gallery type, there's no way we can provide the criteria for commercial and for combo. Because if you look at the table for gallery type, those are the 2 types of gallery, commercial and combo. So it means we need to include that table in our query. And for the artist, you're going to find the artist surname on the artist table. So we're going to include that as well. And for the gallery itself, remember the gallery itself also need to be included. The reason is because there might be a disjointed kind of a table when we open up all of the tables. So now let's go straight to our query and do what we've been asked to do. So I'm just going to go on and create on the create tab, and then click on the query design and simply add all of the entities, that is the tables. So I'm going to be adding the artist. I will add the exhibition where we can get the predicted sales, that is the prices basically, the type, which will provide us with the criteria. As you can see, this is disjointed at the moment, and we do not want it to be disjointed as it is. So ideally we should add the TBL gallery. Okay, so we're going to be adding all of the tables. Now let's rearrange this a little bit. So I'm just going to move the TBL gallery like that and like that, so that at least it's a little bit neater that way. Okay, so we're going to select the artist surname first. We double click that, and the initial, we double click that, and the number of days, we need to double click that, and of course the predicted sales, which is on the exhibition table, double click that, and now we're done. So we're going to calculate the commission, the predicted commission, which we've been told is about 40%. This is 40% for the commercial. Okay, so to do this, I will type predicted commission at 40%. Let's type that as our heading. Predicted commission. I think this is double M. I don't know whether my spelling is correct there. Predicted commission at 40%. Let me adjust this a little bit. At 40%, then put a colon in front. The reason is because this is going to be a title. So at 40% now, to do our calculation to find 40% of the predicted sales, like we have been asked to do, we need to go straight to the expression builder, which is at the top there. And on getting in here, immediately after the colon, we need to type 40%. That is 40 over 100. I'm going to type 40 over 100. 40 over 100. Let's put a bracket. 40 over 100. We're going to multiply that by the predicted sales. To get the predicted sales, we need to go on table, the smart art table, and we need to go on tables and we need to locate the table where we have the predicted sales. The predicted sales basically is on the TBL exhibition, so I'm going to select that, and since we're going to multiply, we use star for multiplication just as it is in Microsoft Excel. So I'm going to put a star there, and the predicted sale, I'll double click that, and so this basically we find the commission basically that we need. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to test this to see whether it works. Okay, we found the commission. This is going to find the commission basically, so I'll click OK now, and we've been able to do that successfully. So if I run this now, it should calculate the commission for us basically. Okay, it should calculate the commission, but this is just a test. Now these are the commissions calculated, as you can see, although no pound sign has been assigned, but we can make some adjustment on that basically later. We can format this on our report basically. Okay, so so we finished with that. Now the next thing they said we need to do, they want the customer, I believe, the artist basically must be able to type a parameter. So this is a parameter query. So I will go under the artist surname where it says criteria. I will type like. Now we want to be able to do a kind of a wild search. It means the artist needs not type the whole name, for the name to be searched. He just needs to type a portion, a part of his surname. Maybe for instance for Attenbury, instead of typing Attenbury, because there might be spelling mistakes along the way, you can just type ATT, and then it will be the record will be retrieved. So to do that, we're going to use a wildcard, and the wildcard will involve using the speech mark there. You put a speech mark and put the ampersand, and you put a speech mark and put a star, and then a star, and then ampersand, and then the square bracket, and then you can say like, you can say please enter. Alternatively, you can just type enter. Doesn't make any difference. Whatever you type inside the square bracket is what will be displayed. Enter surname. Okay, close the bracket. But then, because this is a wild search, like I said, we also still need to add the ampersand, speech mark, star, speech mark. I probably may want to put this somewhere you can see it clearly. So for the parameter query, for a wild search, to make a wild search possible, so that the artist doesn't necessarily need to type all of his last name before he can search. All you simply have to do is, like I said, you type like, speech mark, star, speech mark, ampersand, square bracket open, enter surname, ampersand, speech mark, star, speech mark, and then open square bracket, enter surname, and then close the bracket. Okay, but then you must be able to type the exact last name, no spelling mistake, although we can use wild search as well. So I can type Atterbury, which is what I can remember as one of the artist's name, Atterbury, I believe. And this is what we have for Atterbury. And just type ampersand, speech mark, star, speech mark, and type, although it doesn't work with my my version of Access, because it's pretty too old. and for that reason it's not going to work on mine, but it works on the other laptop I have. But because I can't possibly use that laptop because of because I did not have my recorder on it. So but to use wide search, you simply just type this code I've typed here, which is quite easy to remember. Speech mark star. Let me copy it and I can display it for you to see. You can simply just use this code here, this one, for wide search. This normally will work with Office 2010 and above, but with my version of Microsoft Access, which I believe is the trial edition I have, it doesn't allow me to use any good features of Microsoft Access. Okay, so that is the parameter query we're going to be using. So but for now I'm going to delete that, although you can include it in yours and take the screenshot. It works. So go to print off, you go to screen print this, and after screen printing you go to test it as well. Like I said, you can test it using any name, Atterbury for instance, and then click OK, and this is what you're gonna get. Okay, I'm going to close that. So if I go on the let me try any other name. If I go on the artist name, I have Robinson. Okay, so let's try Robinson. Robinson. If I type Robinson there, let's see whether this will be displayed. Okay, see, so it works perfectly. Now the next thing we need to do is the question basically asks us to go further than this. It tells us that we need to do some calculation. Okay, we need to calculate the commission rate and the prediction. We need to display the commission rate, which we already displayed, and the predicted commission, which we've already done. We've done that bit. So that bit is being implemented already. Now the next thing we're going to do is part of the question requires that we calculate the number of exhibitions. The number of exhibitions the predicted commission smart art will receive. Okay. Now the most important thing is to make sure we have all of those. Let me give us the evidence to prove that we've got all of those. Now the commission rate is displayed. If I run this now and type Robinson, let's say, the predicted sale is there, the artist initial is there, the artist surname is there, the predicted commission is there, and the rate is there at the top. So we have all those evidences, but then we're still gonna do more. However, what more are we required to do? We need to calculate the number of exhibitions and the total predicted commission they will get. Okay, so in which case we're gonna go back to our query and we're going to be using the sum to add the number of days, which basically will give us. So to do that, basically simply click on the sum function there and click on group by sum, so at least we can add up everything. We're using the aggregate formula there, and then we also need to add the income, the amount of money coming into the purse of the smart art. So we need to add that up, and we need to provide the criteria for doing this, because remember, the criteria, we're given two criteria there, the commercial and the combo. So let's start with the commercial first. Now to do that of the commercial, we're going to go to the gallery type, which I believe is somewhere. Okay, the gallery type has not been added yet. Can actually see it on this query. So what I'm going to do now is add the gallery type there, and where it says group by, because we're going to do calculation on this in this query, we need to select where criteria, the criteria now, because the criteria now will be commercial. Okay, where gallery type equal commercial, so it is commercial. Okay, so if we run it now, let's see what's gonna happen. Let's type Atterbury, Atterbury, I believe spelling mistake there. As you can see, the Atterbury, so this is Atterbury commercial now, as you can see. And for us to work out the calculation for the other one is easy. We can, if we want to do that of the combo, we just replace this with combo, and then we're gonna have to change. We have to change the percentage there. We change this to 20 because that is what the question says. We change that to 20 basically. So when we're going to do that bit, we just need to duplicate. I'm going to be duplicating this query and then just make minor modification there. Okay, so please remember to take the screenshot. Like we've said, we got to make sure we have all the criteria required there that we've been asked to add. And I can go over everything again. We've got the artist initial, we've got the artist surname, we've added the parameter query there. The artist should be able to search using last name, and we've been able to find the total amount of money, the money that will come in, and the commission smart art we collect. Eventually we've been able to calculate that using the expression builder, and we've been able to display the percentage for that. Okay, and we've been able to search using the commercial gallery type. Okay, so this needs to be taken, the screenshot of this need to be taken, as well as the datasheet view. So when I run it, like I said, the datasheet view need to be taken. We need to test with different data. You can use Atterbury like I did before, and we have to take that screenshot there. Okay, so that is all about that. So on the next bit I'm going to do now, so I'm going to be saving this as KRY commission. Yes, so I've saved that as KRY commission. The next I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate the KRY commission because it follows the same exact method, because this time the question requires that we work out another one for the combo criteria, and the percentage for that, the rate of that will be 20%. So in order not to repeat what we have done all over and over again, we just copy that and then paste it, and we're gonna call it commission 2, KRY commission 2, and then save it. And we're going to modify that rather than creating another fresh one. But of course we can create another fresh one, but there is no need for that to make it quicker. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to change, I will change the percentage to 20%. I believe that is what we've been asked to do. So there's 20% there, and After that, we got to change this to combo. I believe it's combo. Yes. And we're gonna go to our calculation, and instead of 40%, that will be 20. So I'll change that to 2 and click OK. And we got to take this screenshot. Now this is the commission for combo, so I've got to take this screenshot as our evidence. So if we run this now and type, let's say, Robinson, the commission we're going to have there, if Robinson is there, okay, this is what we will get. It's entirely different from what we got before. Okay, and the screenshot of that needs to be taken. Okay. Okay, and that's all about query. So effectively, we've been able to do everything here. We've been able to calculate the commission, and our query successfully displayed the artist surname, the artist initial, the commission rate, the predicted commission. Everything done perfectly. And we also said the design view need to be provided, the evidence need to be provided, the screen print, and of course the data sheet view also need to be provided. The next thing we're going to do now is the report, which is going to be part 2. This is Emmanuel. I'm back again. We're going to go back to C, part C, and then we're going to be focusing on report. Now, we were asked to create a report which shows a list of galleries and their exhibitions. A list of the gallery and the exhibitions. So what are we expected to do here? We're going to create a simple report. But first of all, we need to understand how this report will be created. For each gallery, we're going to do some calculations there. The end date for each exhibition. You all agree with me that there is no end date on the table of exhibition. We only have the exhibition start date. Okay, but to calculate the end date, we need to add the number of days, 10, to this date, so that we will now have 15, 12, 220, and then we're going to be adding 4. We're going to be adding 4 to 14, but this has to be done automatically. So this number of days will be added to this date for us to find the end date. That is the first thing we're going to do, and we're going to use the query for that to be implemented. So we would need to find the end date for each exhibition. We're also going to calculate the total number of exhibitions for each gallery. Okay, the total exhibition for each gallery need to be found. Okay, and to do that, we're going to use a kind of a group query report there. Okay, we use a group report for that, and that's a very simple one to do. We're also going to find the total number of days that exhibition will run in each gallery. We use group report for that. The total number of days the exhibition will run. We're simply just going to use the sum there. So to do this, let's quickly go and implement that. To do it, we use query. We cannot create this report directly, like I said, because we need to add the number of days to the start date to get the end date. So click on create and go on query design and simply add the exhibition, and now if you add, so we're gonna need the exhibition start date, the number of dates, the number of days, and we also need to add the gallery Unfortunately, on this table there is no gallery on the exhibition, so we need to add a table for the gallery. Okay, because the question requires that we add the gallery. Let me go back to it so that we'll see it. See, the gallery name. Unfortunately, the gallery name is not on the exhibition, on the TBL exhibition. It's on the TBL gallery, so we simply just have to add that table. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do now is, because we need to group this, and we can only group this by the gallery. We can't group the gallery itself because the fact remains that some records were repeated here. If we look at exhibition table and we look at gallery ID, you see 2 is there, 2 is there. So we're going to group by gallery ID, because this basically will make it easy for us to calculate the total number of days of the exhibition. If we group by gallery, then it will be easy for us to sort out those galleries and then work out the total number of exhibition for each gallery. Okay, I hope this is very clear, because as it is now, we can only group by those records that are repeated. So when we group them together, it will be easy for us to add them together to find the number of galleries there. So this is the more reason why we have to add the gallery ID here. And after adding the gallery ID, we can now add the gallery itself. Unfortunately, the gallery, the gallery itself is there, so you add it, and then the number of days also need to be added, and the exhibition start date added, the exhibition end date. Another reason why we need to use the query is because for us to add the number of days to the exhibition start date, so we can find the exhibition's end date, we just need the expression builder. We can only do that using the expression builder, and that is exactly what I'm going to be doing now. So let's copy exhibition start date and change it to exhibition end date. Okay, and we're gonna go straight into expression builder, and the formula we're going to use, I'm gonna give us the general formula to use for that. The general formula to use for that is called date add. We use date add. For the date add, we're going to be typing the interval. Okay, the interval, and then the number we want to add, and of course the date we're adding it to. Okay, maybe I believe we should look at the formula a little bit. So we'll be using the date add, like I said, and we'll be adding the number of days to the start date, just like I said. Okay, okay. So the interval basically will be, for instance, it could be D. So the interval normally, if we're adding, let's say, the days as it is now, let me just go over it here. If we're to add Let me close this and show us a couple of things first. Go on exhibition. So we're adding days, not month or year. So now if you were to add days, so the interval would be, the way we're gonna type this will be, we type date add, and then our interval will be speech mark D speech mark, because we're adding day, and we're going to put the number we're adding. I don't know what that's gonna be, but there are loads of numbers there. So about that column we're going to put the field name, basically maybe exhibition start date, Alternatively you can just put the number, okay, because it's an aggregate something. So instead of writing exhibition start date, for instance, let's say we want to add today, and to the start date, let's say the start date is 23/03/2021. Okay, so we're adding 2 to that, but this 2 is for days. Okay, if we adding to the year, for instance, so if we run this code now, the 2 will be added to 23, which is the number of days, and that will produce 25/03/2021. But supposing we want to add year, you put, because year is made up of 4 digits, so you put 1 2 3 4, and if we run this now, it's going to add the 2 to the 2021, and that will be 2023. Okay, and if it is month, we put M there. If we put this as M, basically it's going to add 2 to 3, which is the number of months, to produce 5. So this is the formula we're going to be using today, and I just want you to understand it very well before I proceed. Now I'm going to go back to the code, the query design. Like I said, we go on expression builder, which is at the top with the magic wand. You go in there, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a function. Remember the date add. Click on the plus for the functions, and where it says built-in functions, click on that, and we're gonna go on date time, because it's date add, isn't it? So there is date add there. Double click that and delete the expression in front of it, because we don't need it. And the interval we're going to be adding now, like I said, our interval is going to be days in the table. Okay. Oh, sorry, I've deleted something there because there's a comma there. So we're going to be adding days, and what are we going to be, which column is that found? The column may be found on the number of days. Okay, so we will delete this. Sorry. We will delete this, and in between the comma there, we will go back to our expression element and go to the smart art table. Let's close this and go to the table, the smart art table. Open that up and go on tables, and we know the number of days is on the exhibition. This is the number of days. Double click it, and you just have to double click it here. Please do not attempt typing anything there, because you wouldn't remember, because the way it is retrieving the number of days from the table TBL, and that is the way it should be written. You may not be able to remember the code. You just need to double click it here. That makes it easy. Then the date, we're adding this number of days to, we're adding it to the start date. Okay, So we will go back there and look at exhibition start date, double click that, and our code is complete. You've got to take the screenshot of that and click OK. And now I'm going to be running this so that we will see what's going to happen. So if I run this now, okay, invalid syntax. I probably deleted, oh, I've deleted the bracket. Date add, I've got to open a bracket there, sorry. One has to be careful when doing it so that you don't delete what is not expected to be deleted. So now date add day TBL exhibition days, comma, so everything is fine now. I'll click OK, and automatically the number of days will be added to the start date to produce the end date. That is what we have there, as you can see. Okay, so if you add 5 to 12, you get 17/01/2021. Add 4 to 20, you get 24/12/2020, and so on. So we've implemented that bit now. So we've done that. The total number of days that the exhibition will run. So now we need to create our report. And when creating our report must be based on this query here. So I'm going to save this and call it, I'm going to call this QRY report. Okay, I'll close that now, and then I'll go straight to our report. Like I said, let me quickly just go back to our report. There's something I want to show you also again. Okay, everything is fine. So I'm going to close this now. And like I said, on our report needs to display a suitable title, the gallery names, the start date, the end date, and the total number of exhibitions for each gallery, the total number of days that exhibition will run in each gallery. So, and this must fit on one page. So it means we need to go on create now and click on the report wizard. Okay, and within tables query, we will select QRY report and select all of the field names. Click next. Make sure everything are together like this. Do not select the TBL gallery at the top. Make sure there's no separation at this point. Okay, make sure everything is we have a single report, and then click next, and then we can add a grouping. Remember I mentioned the gallery ID, because the gallery ID we will use to group the gallery. Okay, so that all the galleries that are the same will be together. So we will add the gallery ID as our grouping criterion, and we will click next, click next. Let's use blocked. Remember, for the field to fit on a page, we need to put a tick. Don't forget that tick, because the question says so, that you must make sure that your report fit. The report must fit on one page. That's what it means. Okay, so you're going to make sure you tick that and click next. Oh, by the way, let's use landscape so that at least it can contain all of our field name. Then, using the convention, naming convention, we're going to name this RPT because it's a report, and we're going to modify this in design view. Click on modify the reports in design view and click finish there. Okay, so we're done, but we just need to make some adjustment. We were told a suitable title must be there. So we can rename this exhibition commission. Okay, and we probably want to, format this a little bit, making it look nice. Okay, let's click on the heading there, click there, and right click and click on properties, report properties, and basically we can format that. Let's put the back color, we want to make this black, and then the text, we want to align the text to the center, and the font name, we can use Century Gothic, and we probably want to make this 26. You probably want to change the font color, and the font color basically we can make it white for contrast. Okay, that is not bad. And next thing we're going to do now is we're going to rearrange all of those. We can format this as much as you can. I do not have the time now actually, so let's reorganize this. So the gallery ID is too wide, so click on the header and on the adjust it like that, because it's shouldn't be as big as that. Now we're gonna click on the gallery itself and move it like that, and then resize. Make sure there is enough space to accommodate the gallery, because remember we use the memo feed there. This is why it's wide. Now we're gonna move this, the date, move this a little bit there. Now let's rearrange this end here need to be resized. Okay, now we're going to format all of the text there. And go on properties, sorry, report properties. Just this is hidden somewhere. It's hidden, so okay, and the back color, you can change the back color if you want to. Let's make it green, and I want to use Century Gothic there. Red for color, let's make it red. Okay, and the border color, I want to make that green. Okay, the same thing, we need to format this. Text boxes need to be formatted as well. Okay. So let's change the and I think that's all we need to do there. We can change the border color if you want to. Change the border color. Let's make it red. Now there are a couple of things we still need to change here. The exhibition start date somehow is a little bit too short. Let's move it back a little bit and extend this a little bit. And we probably want to break, probably want to align the text to the center. Let's align, but before alignment, we need to separate those words for the headings. The headings there. Number of days, instead of num days, we're gonna call it number of days. And what else? Please, you've got to make sure you don't change those of the text boxes, otherwise you destroy them. Okay. The next thing we're going to do now is now we can't resize this, as you can see, because of this text box. So we need to move the ball. Please make sure you do not ruin the formula. The formula is written by Microsoft, and you can afford to ruin it. So now it should be possible for me to resize my report like this. Okay, so now as you can see, we have that, but the heading also need to be adjusted like that. Okay, so now we're done with the design, but there we still have many more something we're going to do here. We need to do some calculation on this, because the question requires that we calculate. It requires that we calculate the total number of exhibitions. The total number of exhibitions need to be calculated, and we also need to calculate the total number of days there. So there we have two things we need to do basically there. Okay, so we're going to be calculating the total number of days and the number of exhibition. But before we can do that, remember I said the gallery ID we group. This report is grouped using the gallery ID. If I go on the report view now, this is what we have, which is super. As you can see, it's grouped using the gallery ID. You see gallery ID 2. There are two newer brand horse there. Gallery ID 4, there are two. So we're going to be counting them for each gallery, the number of exhibitions. So it means, for instance, the new brand house will be exhibited 2 times, and the first time it will be exhibited 5 days, and the second exhibition will last 4 days. Okay, so giving us a total of 9 days. So we want to do this automatically. Okay, so we want to find how many galleries will be exhibited, and the number of days, total number of days actually. So you right click on that and go on design. Currently the gallery ID doesn't have a footer, so we can't possibly do any calculation there. So simply go on the group and sort, and where it says more, I think I've taught you this before, you need to add a footer. Without a footer, where it says without a footer, open it and say with a footer. Select with a footer. Automatically a footer has been added. Now we can do a calculation to find the total number of exhibitions we're gonna have. Okay, so total number of exhibition, drag and drop a text box, and in your text box type number of exhibition. You can move this a little bit this way like this and extend that. Let's extend that like that. Extend this like this. So I'm going to be typing number of exhibition there. number of exhibition. Okay, this is number of exhibition. You can format that if you want. And my formula now, we go in here in the unbound text box. I will type equal because we want to count how many number of exhibitions. We're going to use count there, and we're counting by the gallery ID, not gallery, mind you. We're counting by the gallery ID, basically. No, sorry, we're counting by the gallery. We're counting by the gallery ID because this is grouped by the gallery ID. So I will type gallery ID, and I'm done with that. Then the number of days, we repeat the same procedure. And although for that we're going to be adding the number of days because we want to find out how many days are there. So I'm going to be typing number of days equal sum num days. Okay, and I'm just going to modify the title to be so this would be total number of days. Total number of days. Okay, you can format this. Let's format the labels. You can change the font color. There is a font color there. Make it red, and the border color we can make it green. So make it green. Okay, and for the numbers, let's use border color. Let's make it green. The font, probably want to use Century G. Okay, so we're done with that now. So we're done. You got to take the screenshot of this, the screenshot of your design, making sure the title is meaningful and it stands out, and your formula is visible. Okay, you need to extend this to make sure your formula can be seen inside it. For instance, sum of num days, count, gallery, that must be visible to the examiner. So we can now go on to report view, and this is what we have. You see, number of exhibition 2, total number of days for the exhibition 9. It adds 5 to 4 and produce 9, and the other one is only 1, which is 5. This add 3 to 3 to produce 6, and if you scroll down, see the addition there, 3 plus 4 plus 10 for newer gallery, this produces 17. Okay, so you got to understand what I have done here basically. So we've successfully implemented that, the total number of days for the exhibition, the total number of exhibition itself. We've been able to do that. We've been able to work out the end date using the query. Remember, the query we created is the one we use in creating the report. The title, the report fits a page, and we also have a suitable title for our report. And ladies and gentlemen, this ends the task, but the rest is just the activity on the structure testing. You've got to test everything you've done. I think I've talked about that. The validation, the report, the queries need to be tested. The queries need to be tested. Your report need to be tested. All of the screenshot and whatever you testing, the formula need to be tested, everything. By the way, they're gonna tell you what and what you need to test here. Okay, all of those things you need to test. You know, so you need to evaluate what you have done as well. You need to evaluate what you've done. See, these are the things you need to test: the rain check, the validation, and everything that we've been talking about in this part A need to be tested. You see all of them. You have to pick them one by one and make sure you test them for you to get any meaningful mark. And then you need to evaluate. You need to talk about the positive and the negative of what you have created, your application basically. Good luck.